Okay, Tim, this is in response to your question. If a contractor asks you for a deposit like this, be prepared to ask these honest questions. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. Okay, when I read the questions, if a customer presented questions to me like this, I would say, you can hire somebody else. And that's what I would do. I mean, I would do that 100% of the time. Your questions are a joke. But I'm gonna entertain some of your questions here. Mr. Contractor, question number 1. Mr. Contractor, do you pay your employees in advance? Okay, you ready for this, Tim? Here's how I feel about this. Contractors are businesses and shouldn't be compared to employees. And I'm going to explain to you why. A contractor is a business. Let's define what a contractor is. In your mind, they're just these scumbag workers that the homeowner should control. That's wrong. The problem with the homeowner is they're always looking for the cheapest scumbag. They want the scumbag because the scumbag's the guy that'll come in and work cheap and work for cash. So the homeowner is a victim of their own doing. Usually the people that want more money are the more respectable, reputable contractors, but they don't want to hire those people. They always hire the guy, the dandelion, the guy that just went in business 6 months ago, 3 months ago, that's willing to come in at half the price. That's the problem, Tim. They're uninsured, unlicensed. They're not a legitimate business. Everything's cash and carry. That's the problem, Tim. Okay. Again, contractors are businesses. And when you start a business and you're successful, keep in mind that within 5 years' time, 90% of businesses fail. And I don't care if it's a store or any type of entrepreneurial situation. Within 5 years, 90% fail. So if you're one of those type of businesses that made it and are successful after 5 years, now you have credibility as far as I'm concerned. Okay, again, a contractor is a business. A business is a company. Okay, some are sole proprietors, some are LLCs, and some are incorporated. Okay? I'm an LLC. The first thing you need to do before you start your business is you need to go to your county. Now, I'm in New Jersey. I have to go to Camden, which is where the city hall is. And I have to register my business and get a trade name certificate. Okay? This proves that I own the business. Once I have proof that I own the business, which I have all these documents, now I go and I open up a business bank account. In order to open up a business bank account, you need to have a trade name certificate. Okay? So you go to the bank, now you have your trade name certificate. Okay? Now you're going to need insurance. The first insurance policy you need is general liability. And then when you have your general liability certificate, then you contact the Consumer Affairs in your state, and you apply for your contractor license / registration, the home improvement contractor license. And you need to submit insurance. You need proof of insurance, your insurance, policy number, the whole 9 yards. So now you have your general liability insurance, your state license, your trade name certificate, and a business bank account. Now, if you plan on hiring employees and doing it legitimately according to the Department of Labor and federal laws, you have to have them on a payroll. So now you need to get a payroll company, which I have. They're called Paychecks. Google the name. So I hire a company to do payroll. Okay? Now, I have to have workers' compensation insurance. And when you do have a payroll, you pay payroll tax, you pay into their city, their state, their FICA, all that stuff. Okay? There's a big responsibility as a business owner. So we have all the insurances, all the documents, the workers' comp, the general liability, all that stuff there, the trade name certificate, the bank account, the payroll company. Now we have a business, okay? Now we need to get the customers. So now we have to pay, now we have to do marketing. Now we have to have a website. We have to list our business on Google, list our business all over the internet, Yelp, Houzz, all different sites, Porch, to get business. We have to open up a Facebook account. We have to put advertisement in newspapers. We have to buy t-shirts for employees. We have to have door hangers to walk around and try to get the business rolling. It takes a lot of hard work and labor to establish a business. And also, not to mention, we need to have trucks. We need to have equipment, tools, a lot of tools, a lot of equipment to give to these workers to use. That's a lot of money and it's a lot of investment. So to compare someone like myself or other businesses that are successful to a fucking punk employee, you have got to be kidding me. So I can refute your first question right off the bat. Right off the bat. I mean, should I go further? Because they're all the same. All your questions, I would refute them just like I'm doing now. But we're going to continue with the business, okay? As a business, online reviews are imperative for your success. If you have bad if you take somebody's money, deposit, and run with it, all they need to do is go to your review and tell the public that they were ripped off. And you know what that's going to do to the business? Because I want to tell you what, Tim, businesses rely on good reviews. They rely on that. A business also who's been established has many references. Okay, I'm going to do a job for Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith, here's our reference list. I have 500 people on there. You can call any one of them. Okay? That means a lot. Online reviews and my reference list means a lot to the customer. A good business has credibility if you do research. You need to research your contractor, your business that you're hiring. Don't hire some scumbag for the lowest price. Bad customer. Bad customer. Don't hire the lowest price. Bad customer. Stupid customer. It's your own fault, customer, that you got screwed. Period. A business wants deposits because they need a cash flow. Do you see what I just mentioned all above? If I do a job, I am not a bank. I am not going to use my money to do your job. Do you understand? The customer is not paying me money up front like it goes into my pocket and that's my profit. I don't work a business. A legitimate business doesn't work it that way. A business needs money in the bank account. Always need cash flow. I am not going to have 3 jobs going on at once without deposits where everything's coming out of my pocket. I am not a bank. Do you get it? I always get a third up front. If it's a job under $5,000, I get 10% deposit to schedule the work. I get the next payment equals half, and that's the start date. Irregardless of supplies, materials, any of that. The final payment is when the job is completed. The last day of business. If it's a job over $5,000, I do the 10% deposit, and then the first day on the job, I get what equals 1/3. Halfway through the job, I get a second third, and when the job's completed, I get a third. And if there's any problems with the work, down the future, I offer a warranty. Period. And I honor my warranty. Now, that's a business. A business owner is somebody who is not somebody with the employee mentality. They're somebody who's more educated, more motivated and driven to be successful in life. Do you understand? An employee is just somebody who wants the easy life. Just wants to have people feed them work, and they're happy just making an hourly wage that's struggle money. Someone like myself wanted a better life. So to compare me to an employee is absurd. Now, let's look at employees. I'm hiring employees right now. And you know what? Let me tell you what, Tim. When you're hiring an employee, it's like you're looking through a garbage can. Especially when they're tradesmen. You're looking through a garbage can. Well, this apple here doesn't look too bad. It looks like it has just a little bit of decay. Maybe we can try him out. Maybe he may not be as bad as he looks. That's the typical employee. You get it? They don't have teeth. They don't have a driver's license. They call out every other week. They don't care about the customer. They're uneducated. They don't have a pot to piss in. They have bad credit, and they have nothing to lose when they're working on your job. It's not their name, and it's not their reputation. They work by the hour, Tim. They work by the hour. So to compare a business to the actual employee getting money in advance for a cash flow is absurd. I would never pay an employee anything until I can count their hours at the end of the week. And by law, according to the Department of Labor, I have to pay them. I have to pay them, whether I'm happy with them or whether they did a good job, what have you. They have to be paid if they put their hours in. And most employees are called at-will employees who can be terminated or quit at any time. So that means, Tim, when I do Mrs. Smith's, $10,000 project, in the middle of it, they can just quit. And I don't owe them anything, and they don't owe me anything. There's no contract. I can't take them to court. They can't take me to court. So, Tim, the comparison of an employee and a business is stupid. It's a stupid point you made. I mean, should I continue? I think I've gotten far enough because I can tear all your points apart. But I'm going to go into, you know what I've seen on your website? It seems like you don't give the business any credibility as being a business and a company who has all these responsibilities and to the state and to the employee and to do things legally. You don't give them credibility because you make the assertion that the customer should control their money and control. Let me ask you a question, Tim. Since when does a customer control the business? Now, let's look at any business. Let's look at a store. Let's look at anything. An airline. You're gonna fly out of town. What customer controls the business? So you're asking the customer to control, or you're giving advice for the customer, control the business. And here's what you have to understand, Tim. A business, or if you want to use the word contractor, is not a customer's employee. They don't have the right to do anything that an employer would do. They don't have the rights. They don't have the right to tell you when to start, where to start, what to do. They don't have the right to give you direction during the course of the job. You are a business providing a service. Your service has systems and methods to get the job done within the budget. But once in a while I come across somebody that thinks I'm their employee. They think that they're paying me for my time. They don't even understand where my price comes from. Most customers don't understand where the price comes from. I believe that they think that you just walk in the house and pull a number out of your hat. An estimate is based on, you know it, time and material. The customer doesn't realize that. They really don't realize that. I was just doing a job for a woman, and she was doing everything in her power to break my system and my method so that I can do little things and go over to this little area and do that. And I was really getting annoyed with her, because we base our price on productivity, being efficient and getting it done within the timeline that we allotted. In other words, this job's a 40-hour job. This job's a 50-hour job. This job's a 120 man hours. And it has to be done within that timeline. The customer doesn't know that. So here's what the customer said to me. She had me working out of sequence with the way that I do things to get it done efficiently. And she says, well, I don't mean to waste your time. The customer thinks that they have an open buffet of time. That's what they believe. But I said to her, you wouldn't be wasting my time. I would charge additional hours. And then she just looked at me. But that's the reality, Tim. Customers have no regard for your time when you're the contractor. They think that they have an open buffet of time. That's the reality of it. So, for the customer to control anything is absurd. I'm the one running the business. The customer doesn't control my business in any way. They don't control my employees. They don't control where I start, where I finish, when I get paid. I control that. I am the business. Okay? So, to compare an employee to a business is absurd. It's comparing an apple to a turd. And if the customer wants to have that control, let them put somebody on the payroll. Let them put an ad in the help wanted. Construction workers, painters, roofers, whatever they need. Let them put an ad in the help wanted and discuss hourly rates. And then let them call their accountant up and set up a payroll. Let them hire, let them get workers' comp. Let them do all the 9 yards, the full 9 yards. And then they can have that control, Tim. People don't deserve the control unless they're doing what they have to do to get that control. And that's being a legitimate employer. So, customers don't deserve control of anything other than the only thing they can control is whether they're satisfied with the job. And that's it. Period. Okay, end of that topic. Where could I go next with this? I don't really think there's anywhere to go that I just don't have time to keep going by. Oh, here you go. Do you pay your supplies in advance? Do you have open accounts and are billed monthly? Tim, that's a joke again because, just for example, my supplier is Home Depot or Lowe's. I happen to have a Home Depot credit card and a Lowe's credit card. But here's what you don't know. Maybe you do know, maybe you don't know. Home Depot, their credit cards, it's financed by Citibank. It's financed by Citibank. And I believe Lowe's I don't think my Lowe's card is active anymore because I never used it and they may have just closed the account. I think that's Synchronicity Bank. Whether that's accurate or not, which bank it is irrelevant. They use a bank. These companies get their money. It's processed through a credit card. They get their money. Okay? When you're paying your Home Depot credit card, you're paying Citibank. So this point here is bullshit. Tim, you need to educate yourself, man. You need to educate yourself. You're a nice man. You look like you have a successful YouTube channel. That's great, man. I'm happy for you. But you're talking nonsense. So this point here is irrelevant. I'm not a bank. I am not a bank. A business, a contractor's not the bank. I could do financing. I could have a finance company. And there are businesses that do that. I don't do that. Do you pay your truck service center in advance before they repair your truck? Oh God! At your age, Tim, you're comparing this to a contractor. Guess what, Tim? An auto shop has your vehicle. Do you understand? They have your property, and they will not return your property. By law, they do not have to return your property until you pay them. That's a law here in New Jersey. I had a mechanic try to do that to me because he did unauthorized work and wanted to charge me $500. And I went down there and said, I never authorized this. I brought a cop out there because he wouldn't give me my car. He goes, I'll see you in court. And meanwhile, I'm going to keep your car in my garage. So they can keep your car. So they have collateral. You understand? When you're working in somebody's house, you're in their castle. They can kick you out at anytime they want. And over the course of 30 years, I've had it happen a couple times. It wasn't over quality because I've been doing this long enough that I deliver quality because I don't work at the cheapest price. I work at a rate where I can make money and deliver a quality job. I would say my closing rate is probably like, I have a 20 to 30% closing rate. That's because I am not the cheap guy. All these other contractors, these people that hire someone else, well, we found a contractor that gave us a better price. These are the guys that are going to screw you over. These are the guys that are going to cut corners, do everything they can, use cheap products. They're the ones that are going to take your deposit. Okay. Since you don't pay anyone in advance, why are you asking me to do that? Well, let's just take that question and throw that in the garbage, Tim. When you hire a lawyer, they give you your free consultation. But after that, they want a retainer. They won't answer any more questions until you retain them. How do I know? How do you think I know that, Tim? How do you experience? And most attorneys want a $3,000 to $5,000 retainer. Attorneys usually bill you by the hour. Okay? They bill you. Okay. Doctors. When you walk in, even if you call to make an appointment, could I get your insurance information? That's equivalent to me saying, I want you to come out to give me a free estimate. Can I get your credit card information? Can I get your routing number and bank account number? You know, that's like me saying that. These people get their money. They're in a different position. Again, as a contractor, I'm in someone's house. There's a certain amount of uncomfortable situation that you're in when you're working in somebody's house. You're in their domain. When you go to a doctor, you go to their location. When you take your car, you take it to their location. You see my point, Tim? So all these questions here are garbage. Where else can I go with? Yeah, I just want you to know this. People like you, there's people like you out there that want to try to educate consumers, but I got news for you. What you're saying on the internet doesn't affect me in any way. My customers faithfully give me the money I want. Once in a while, I'll come across somebody that will question that. I don't do their job. I don't need everybody's job. You know, we work steady, and there's times where I don't like the customer. I don't like to feel the vibe that I got, and that's it. But I present myself in a professional manner to where I'm very professional. I mean, I come to their house, clean cut, clean looking. I have, a company shirt on. I have, a tablet. It has everything we need before and after photos. It has our state licensing, our insurance, all that type of thing there. I leave them with a package. It has all the information in it that I present. It's a sales type of package in a folder with our name on it. And so I have a good presentation when I give an estimate. So people don't question me. They question the guy that comes in with a business card and writes on the back of the business card, $8,500 to do the job. And that's what they write. My contracts are like 5 pages. But anyway, Tim, I wanted to do a video to you. Didn't know what I was going to say, but I think I got everything that I need to say. There's really nothing more. Contractors, businesses need deposits, just like the airline, just like the motel room that you're going to book on vacation. They take deposits that are non-refundable. You're a business, you're a company. Customers don't think twice of jerking the business around, especially when they have nothing invested. Emphasize that, really focus on that. When they have not invested anything and are in full control of the money, they can jerk the business around at any time. I can't tell you how many times I had customers jerk me around. I can tell you so many stories. Now, I'm talking 30 years I've been doing this, Tim. I can tell you so many stories where people screwed me and I lost money. I lost a week's worth of work. I lost a few days worth of work. They jerked me around and just pulled the plug on a job. Oh, I'm sorry. I changed my mind. We went with another contractor. After they already agreed to give me the job. Do you follow me? And then I've even seen people where they sign a contract. This hasn't happened to me. And then they still think they can get out of it. In New Jersey, and I think most states, there's common law. If you sign a contract, in New Jersey, you have 3 business days to cancel. Okay, I have that written on my contract. And if you don't cancel within those 3 days, the business can actually sue for the full amount. I don't know if they'll get it or not, but they can sue for the full amount. And a customer will be like, well, what do you mean you didn't do any work? Well, we have a contract. This is a legally binding agreement. You can't just default on it because there was no work. But this is the mentality people have. They think that they can just walk at any time. If they made no payments, I can just rip the contract up and say, sorry, I changed my mind. If you're dealing with someone like me, I'm going to sue you. And I'm going to sue you not because I want the money. I'm going to sue you just to be an asshole. I'm not going to hire a lawyer. I'm just going to go to small claims court. If the job's for $5,000, there's a limit I forget what the limit is. If it's for $5,000 and you decided not to have me do the job, you signed my contract, and then 2 weeks later you decide, I get this. I found someone that gave me a much more reasonable price. So I decided to go with them. Thank you. On my voicemail or an email. Yeah, well, sorry. I'll see you in court because you have a contract. Okay, Tim. This is Friday over here in New Jersey. I hope you're doing good. Take care.